All right, guys, welcome back. Episode number 4,692. We literally spent the last 3 days doing nothing but recording episodes. That's a lie. It's like episode number 12, 11. Jesse will mess with that. Mike Gioseffi back with Sports Cards Nonsense, our latest episode. Again, over 10 years in the business, just sold the company, made a bunch of money doing that. So now we're trying to just throw out some content here on YouTube and different social, give you guys an idea how you can make money in this hobby/business as well. As always, my partner in crime, sidekick, Mr. J-Bo. What's going on, buddy?
You got Jesse over here on the ones and twos. Hey,
I don't know what that
good
means.
to be here.
I don't approve of the use of the soundboard. See, we're supposed to go right off the top, hitting people with value, and I got you trying to sound like little.
It's Jesse G.
I would already have tuned out, I'll be honest with you. All right, guys, little rundown of the show today. A couple of quick buy and sell notes, specifically NFL, big season halfway through, who to buy, who to sell there. Going to talk about a little bit of vintage, which in general I kind of hate. I've never been a fan of vintage stuff, but I think there's money to be made there, especially long-term. Great investment if you can hold on. It's just becoming a thing on the show every week, which I hate to say it, but it's true. A little more Pokemon talk. No Charizard this week. We're not talking about that stupid lizard. And then like everybody, I think everybody's seen that graphic going around. We're going to use the same graphic because we steal graphics just like everybody else. Oh, the market is down and it's up in this area, but it's down and no one's making money anymore. And there's a whole catastrophe happening, which is ridiculous. So there you go. Right off the bat, let's get to it. First thing you need to do, take out your Daniel Jones cards. Very easy process. 3 steps. Identify the cards you have in your collection. Find all the Daniel Jones cards. Find the nearest trash barrel. The guy is absolute garbage. The Giants are trash. I'm surprised they haven't recruited Jesse over there with his antics to start for that team. They are pathetic. They're playing the Bucs this week. Loving that soundboard. They're playing the Bucs this week. They're going to get smashed again. They've got a tough schedule after that, mostly divisional games. Daniel Jones is trash. His arm is like a wet noodle, and quite frankly, that's an insult to spaghetti everywhere. If you still have his stuff, sell it now. I mean, you're not going to get anything out of it past this, I don't think. The team is I think they're still winless. I mean, they're absolutely trash. He's horrific. No weapons. Saquon is down. If you're still holding Daniel Jones cards, I hope it's because you just love the Giants, which if you love the Giants, I don't really have much respect for you in the first place. So get rid of the stuff. Josh Allen, total opposite of that. Josh Allen's playing the Pats this weekend. My Patriots are not the Patriots of old. That defense is pathetic looking the last few weeks. Jimmy G just lit them up this past weekend. Josh Allen's been slowly climbing back after losing 2 in a row to the Titans and the Chiefs. Josh Allen prices have not jumped at all in the past couple weeks. Still under $400, $400 and less for his PSA 10 Prism rookies. You know, here's the other thing, guys. I know every show, most of these other YouTube donkeys who have these shows talking about what to buy, what to sell, literally have a new tip every week. I don't think there's new tips every week. Sometimes there's 10 different things I think you should change up. Other times I think it's the same. We've been saying for 2 weeks now, buy Josh Allen. It's nothing miraculous this week. I think you still buy Josh Allen. I think he's going to light up the Patriots. They're going to win the game. They've got a fairly easy schedule coming up. I think there's still money to be made with Josh Allen. Another thing we've been talking about, it's not brand new breaking news. There's no awesome sound bite for this. Buy Tua. Tua's next 4 opponents, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Chargers, mostly weak defenses. The Rams have a decent defense. The rest of those defenses are absolute trash. Miami's a competitive team. They're 3-3. I think he's going to put up numbers. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick was averaging like 250 yards and 1.5 touchdowns a game. I think Tua's going to do even more than that with the weapons, and he's exciting. And no, we don't subscribe to the fact that he's too small to be a quarterback. Height is overrated.
I would like to point out, you said there was no sound effect for that. I did have a sound effect. You did not even let me get in there. It was
the crickets.
I feel like we've heard about Tua. I mean, I'm on board, but
I'm saying the same thing. It's not breaking news. I'm just saying you still buy Tua. And then people say, well, what if he doesn't come out and play well? The fact that he's going to start a game, that's hype. Yeah, I think people need to get over this notion of you have to play great for prices to increase. With young guys, especially guys like Tua, there's hype because he's going to start, period. Hype is more important to value than anything people do on the field. It's just the way it is. You've got, a great example. Look at running backs and wide receivers. You've got guys who put up absolutely monstrous numbers each and every week and have been doing it for a while. They have no hype, so they have no value. Jarrett Stidham was a great example. Before the season started, Jarrett Stidham, I don't know if he can throw a ball or not. I have no idea, and neither does anybody else because we haven't seen it yet. But when Brady signed with Tampa and Stidham, there was talk that he's going to come in and start. His prices went absolutely through the roof. The dude was selling on par with Drew Lock. Hype is more valuable than anything. You don't need to see things happen on the field for you to make money. I think Tua is the exact same way. Guys are looking for the next dude. Herbert, Burrow have been crushing it. Their prices are absolutely insane. The fact that Tua is just going to step foot on the field, he's going to make one or two exciting plays too. People that short are just great. I mean, period. That's just my motto on life. So you being 6'4", just your best sound effect here would be silence. You have no idea the struggles of a short person. Thank you. Next topic up real quick too. We don't ever talk about vintage on the show because I don't like vintage. I never have. I've never been a subscriber to vintage baseball. When you were a kid, when we were young going to card shows, vintage was awesome because 3 old dudes named Sid had all the cards. There was no eBay. There was no Facebook. So these guys who were literally just breathing dust had all the vintage stuff in the market, and they set their own market because nobody else had it. If you wanted a mantle, there were 2 guys in town who had it. The prices were insane. Not to mention Beckett was making up ridiculous numbers that had too many zeros to throw on the backside of vintage. I actually think now especially, I'm not talking now, this is if your budget is $100 a week or $100 a month, if you're new in the hobby and just coming in to mess around and have fun, I love it. This next segment is really not for you. This next segment talking about living Hall of Fame legends who are on death's doorstep. If you've got cash, because we get this question, we got it again this week. Matter of fact, Jesse was with me, a guy messaged. He's been a customer of mine for years. His dad was looking to move about 50, I think it was 50,000, wasn't it?
Sounds right.
Thank you for your valuable confirmation. 50 grand, and he's like, hey, he's invested here and there. He wants to diversify. He loves sports. He loves the market. Where does he put his 50 grand so that he's getting a return and it's safe money? I don't think most listeners here have 50 grand lying around to chuck at stuff. But if you do, I think this next segment is for you, especially if you're not a guy who wants to worry about markets changing week to week. So if you're coming into the market looking to spend huge money like that as an investment, I'm not messing around with modern players because the market's too volatile. People are talking about the next junk era. I don't think that's true, but there's certainly some volatility to the market. So if I'm coming into the market with money to spend, I'm going vintage Hall of Fame PSA graded rookies. So there's some recent stuff that we've seen crazy spikes with, right? The Larry Bird PSA 8 rookie, I think to me is still an awesome, unbelievable card.
What's that card going for right now?
So here's a weird thing. I bought this card about just under 2 years ago on eBay for $792. This card as a PSA 8 trades for about $4,500.
Jeez.
Now, that's a huge jump, no question. Here's the cool thing about a card like that. Now, granted, for me, I'm a Celtics fan, sentimental nonsense, bullcrap value. That's different. But just actual value to the market. You got Bird, Magic, and Dr. J. 3 iconic rookies on the same card from an iconic set. If you've got money like that sitting around, you've got $4,500, $4,000, and wanted to throw it in an IRA that is consisting of cardboard, I think it's an awesome card for you. I think for that kind of money, that card's not going anywhere. Basketball market is insane. I think people love it, and that's a great iconic rookie. It's from the 80s, so you're not talking crazy old. So if you're coming in for $4,000 to $5,000 to spend, fantastic. Now, if you want to jump it up to $15,000 to $18,000 to grab a PSA 9, I like that move even better. Obviously, at that price point, a lot of people are out. The other Celtic I love, and again, this kind of fits the bill with what we're talking about, the Bill Russell rookie. Now, that's graded a PSA 4, nothing crazy. It's a 1957 Topps card. Here's why I love the Bill Russell rookie right now. That card about a year and a half ago was $1,800 to $2,000 depending on centering. That card now is trading about $9,000 to $10,000. So has the initial jump happened? Yeah, dude, it's insane.
PSA 4.
PSA 4, yep.
Jeez.
So the initial jump has already happened across the board, right? Here's what the reality of cards, though, especially vintage guys like Bill Russell. On most people's chart of greatness, he's still a top 10. Most people have him top 5. He's unbelievable, right? He has more championship rings than he has fingers. The dude's doing something right. Couple things to me that work in his favor. His rookie card is from the 50s. Just adds a premium with vintage guys. 57, it's a Topps card. It's an awesome color. It's a cool-looking card. The dude is also, at this point, Russell's getting up into his 80s. People around him, there's even been reports lately, his health isn't that great. I'm not trying to be, pessimistic here, but look at the market. When guys like that die, their stuff spikes. Always. That's always been the case. I mean, the Kobe market is still 5 to 6 times higher now than it ever was before because he died. Now that's a guy dying in his prime. I'm not gonna, I'm not a big fan of if somebody dies in their prime, profiting off that. I don't love that move. But when it comes to guys who are 80, 90 years old and they're dying of old age, if you're looking to spend some serious money, I think a PSA 4, again, get into that $9,000 to $10,000 price range. I love that card. Russell's a legend. When he dies, that card does nothing but jump up. He plays in a major market. I don't think you're getting hurt with that card long term. I think it's a great investment. My number one buy, though, and it just happens to be the cheapest entry point price as well, 1958 Topps. It's an awesome looking set, first of all. You've got the color background, the circle cut out in the middle. I just think it's an awesome set. Jim Brown, most people would argue, is the greatest, not only running back, a lot of people would argue the greatest football player of all time. Of course, if you say that, you're wrong. Tom Brady is. But Jim Brown is iconic. Dude was putting up regular season numbers today while playing a 10 and 12 game season. Jim Brown is unbelievable, still living. Again, another dude who's not that far away from, getting the final call there. I mean, Jim Brown is getting up there in age. But what's insane, I think the football vintage market is the best to buy into anyways. That card is a PSA 5, is literally way higher than it has ever been. Again, just to put in perspective, 18 months ago, that thing was trading at about $500-$600. Now that card is trading at about $2,000. Now people think, oh, it's quadrupled in price. That's an awesome investment. It is, no question. But put that in perspective. We're talking about 1958. It's a grade higher than Bill Russell, and it's 1 year older. Bill Russell, revered as one of the greats. Jim Brown is revered on that level, if not higher, and his card is trading at 20% of the market of Bill Russell. Not to mention baseball. Baseball vintage is still unbelievably insane. My point in saying all this is if you've got again, $2,000, it's a lot of money to some. To other guys, it's nothing. If I have $2,000 right now and you said, I want a safe card that I can throw in a closet for a couple months, I'm going Jim Brown rookie. And I like a PSA 5. I think it's a solid price. Now, baseball is insanely expensive. Willie Mays, another dude getting way up there, not doing great health-wise. Hank Aaron. You start talking about legends. I just feel like if you're looking for a safe investment, the vintage market has always been safe. It's almost like real estate. It slowly creeps up a couple points every year. And when those guys die, it just gets nuts. So I like vintage. My one guy there, I love the other cards too. For $2,000, I think a PSA 5, 1958 Topps Jim Brown. If you're looking for a card to hold, I think is an awesome buy. Another good buy right now, the Pokemon thing is still stupid and getting insane. Pikachu. There you go, Pikachu. Anything but Charizard. That is my advice right now. I was rattling off names to you before. I don't even remember. What are the stupid names of those made-up creatures?
I won't do this. I refuse. Okay. It was
Give me some
names. You had Charmander, which he didn't even know Charmander is the unevolved version of Charizard.
Never
Hello?
Heard. Yeah, so basically what the market is seeing, thank you. What the market is seeing now with Pokemon is anything not named Charizard starting to climb more than Charizard stuff. Charizard's still more expensive, no question. But the jumps are there with other people because guys are branching out. Sealed Pokemon wax is unbelievably expensive, but those other names that I'm not going to try to pronounce because I don't know what they are, some useless mythical creatures, people are now starting to chase those things, and we're starting to see prices jump on stuff that's not 1999 first edition. I think the Pokemon craze is just starting. That's my advice. I'm not going to sit here and do a bunch of homework on it. If you're into that market and you know what it's about, I'd say buy anything not Charizard right now that is graded PSA 8 or higher. You put yourself back on screen. Do you have something to say?
One of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything.
Not even close. It's a long clip. Yeah, it's a long clip. I like the clip.
We
are all dumber for having listened to it.
Your advice was fine. It's just the logic behind not knowing the names. I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. How are you going to eBay? How are you going to search eBay? You don't know about Blastoise? How are you going to find Blastoise?
I'm not doing it. So Charmander and Blastoise are the two guys I know just from my Facebook group. So that's it. That's enough Pokemon talk, although it's like the most popular subject out there. The market being down. Again, there's that graphic going around with the charts and the cute numbers. The market's down. Everything's terrible. Now's the time. I've even heard lately some of these morons who charge a couple bucks a month for a subscription to get their lack of knowledge because they've never made any real money in this hobby. But that's fine. But they're telling people now the market's slow. You got to be careful. Yeah, there's some truth to that, right? The baseball market, we've been saying since the month ago when we started this thing, the baseball market is down, right? Prospecting drives the baseball market. No minor leagues, killed it this year quite a bit. It was down in the midst of the playoffs in an awesome and exciting World Series. Now that that's over, yes, baseball is down, no question. Basketball is down to a degree. In general, I think most basketball is down 20 to 30%, for sure. Football is still awesome, still thriving. You've got money spilling off into Pokemon like we talked about. The soccer market is still insane. So is the market down across the board? I guess. So my advice is like it would be in the stock market, which you and me have messed around the stock market before. Kind of wish we bought Tesla at $17. Was it $13?
No, it was 17. I think.
Yeah, we were going to put 10. This was years ago when 10 grand was every dime I had, and I think a lot of what you had 10 years ago probably.
I was going to borrow some from you.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to buy Tesla at $17. It's fine. Point being, the market is down. Awesome. So be smart. Buy money on stuff that is going to jump back up, and then cash in. That's why, again, this is not news. Like, you've heard this every time we've had a show. When the market's down, I'm not going to sit here and say everything's over, sell. Daniel Jones is trash. The football market is up. That guy's a worthless quarterback and on a worthless team. Sure, fire sale, get rid of that crap, cut your losses, and be done. But when it comes to the actual market, like if you're out there selling basketball right now at a 30% loss, now if you need the money, no problem. But if you don't, if you just are panicking and overreacting to these numbers, dude, I don't know what we're talking about. I mean, take a look at the chart. Like, yeah, numbers are down somewhat. So use your money and buy low and then sell high in December and January. Seems pretty simple to me. So there's definitely money to still be made in this market. Like I said, when it comes to wax, we're going to talk about this more because Prism is going to make a lot of people a lot of money. Prism football that comes out in a few weeks. Next week's a monster release week. I think there's 4 to 5 releases across the board, baseball, basketball, and football. We'll preview those next week. That's all I got. I want to keep this one a little bit shorter because I talk way too much, even though I talk way too fast. So there you go. Again, thanks for checking us out, guys. Mike Gioseffi and Jesse.
Don't use my middle name.
Gibson, the Road Scholar.
I like turtles.
He likes turtles. Make sure you check us out on TikTok. Same thing, Sports Cards Nonsense TikTok. And check out the YouTube page. Let's keep this thing moving, keep a little growth, and let's keep making money. Later, guys.